The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Sofa Squad. I hope everybody's doing well. Y'all, we have the wonderful, the one and the only Dr. Patrice Berry. Thank you. Thank you for joining. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't wait for us to dive in on this one because there is so much. So much.
I know, right? I'm so excited too. Hey, mods, thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope the Sofa Squad's having a great day. I hope the Psych Nerds are having a great day as well. Great weekend, I should say, for everybody. So yeah, let's just literally jump right on in. So, Donna Adelson trial is what we're discussing. So Donna Adelson is on trial. Most of her cohorts have already been sentenced to prison, including her son. And the trial to me is probably the one of the year for me. I'm just like, what? The stuff that's coming out in the stand. So some things that I'm going to have to like narrow my focus because there's so many things I would like to go over with you. Some big things that are like, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? The family dynamics, number one, and just hearing how they functioned as a family. I'm not trying to sit over here talking about, oh, I'm the perfect family person and family in the world. We all have our stuff. But most of us, I think, can safely say don't end up in conspiring to take out, a family member of, the husband of a sister or whatever. So, and I'll ask specific questions, but you go first. Tell me just some general thoughts you have on what we're seeing play out on the stand as far as how the Adelsons functioned.
And really, in watching your coverage too and your collaboration with Kathy, I missed the Wheel of Fortune domestic coordinator and mentioned on my channel, Donna needs to coordinate less. Donna was doing too much. She's over here saying too much. She's thinking everybody else's business is her business. Donna needs to go and sit down, but it's too late because we're already in her trial. And so as I listen to this family, as I listen to the emails, or I watch the emails and I hear the voicemails, the voice calls, all those, what's coming up is that they're incredibly enmeshed. And in family therapy, we talk about some families don't have boundaries. So I thought it was interesting that one of the informants mentioned that Donna said that Wendy's children were her children, because that kind of tracks that Donna would, and it's different than that, like, my sunshines, or it's different because with Donna, there's this different flair that she was really thinking she should be an equal decision maker along with Wendy and Dan. And I think she was upset with the boundaries that Dan wanted to have take place. It was just so much.
And you bring up a good point, and then somebody in the comment section of today's video was talking about this also, um, about how, so imagine someone like Donna. Dan comes into the picture. Doesn't matter that she picked him out basically for Wendy, right? It was like, we have to marry you off. Here we go. He comes in the picture. So someone who is not operating in the Adelson trifecta of how that family functions most likely is going to come in and say, y'all are turned up. This isn't how this goes. Wendy, why is your mom doing that? Why? I bet he came in and started questioning things and doing this and doing that. And then, the second that happened, Donna was like, oh no, he has to go. Like, that's like, you don't question the queen. She runs this place. And I also like that you talked about the her considering the kids like her kids, because it was almost like, and I've said this a couple of times when we're live from the trial, I was like, it's almost like Dan was a what donor, and then once that came in and all that, it was like, oh, okay, well, I've got Wendy, come on back home, we've got what we needed. And because Dan didn't go, and again, I don't know, I'm just so speculating, because Dan didn't go along with he didn't get on board, so it was like, oh, well, we got the kids. He's not on board. Yeah, this isn't, but he wouldn't go away because he had just as much of a right to the kids and everything as she did. Yeah. And it wasn't anybody else's. Donna, it was like, go ahead.
And she meaning Wendy, not Donna. So like her being like Wendy. And because Wendy said that she didn't like confrontation. But I think she benefited from some of this. Just once again, some sofa speculation. We're hanging out on the sofa, and it just seems like things were happening, and I don't know what Wendy knew and what she didn't. She definitely didn't set any boundaries when her mother is sitting here saying we should baptize the children. And I don't think Wendy did it, but still, like, to not say, Mom, that's inappropriate. Like, that is going against the beliefs of my ex-partner or their father. Like, Wendy just didn't set any boundaries in the midst of all of this.
Well, another thing too, kind of going off of what you said there, and I'm going to say it in sofa terms here, but people who, Wendy was married to her family instead of Dan. Wendy was dating her family instead of Dan. Like, if you're out there dating people, and it's like, there's like a healthy level of, I'm a family man, I'm a family woman, or whatever, and being like, I appreciate that. And then, oh no, you're married to the family. That's your thing. And that's fine if you want to do that. But it's like these situations here when they pull other people into it. And it's like, well, wait, I didn't know we were all making a decision. I mean, even Charlie had a whole thing, because this is one thing that, and I'm sorry to be excited.
We're good.
I've been looking forward to this all week. I'm like, I'm going to talk her ear off. Okay, so what do you think about this part? So looking at Donna, and Donna to me was the gasoline of the situation always. Donna would get something in her domestic coordinator situation and be like, oh, this is the thing this week. And then she would drive everyone crazy about it. So she would go to Charlie. Charlie was like her little do boy. She would go to him and kind of work him to work Wendy. Because remember when Charlie's like, well, I convinced her to go do this. I mean, that was crazy. So it starts with Donna. And I think that's why the conspiracy, they're like, it starts with Donna, because she's up here domestically coordinating all the manipulation.
Because I think Charlie wanted Wendy and the kids, but I think it's because Donna made it such a big deal. And Donna's over here like, Wendy is tortured. Wendy is, like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. How can I not have my grandkids? And I can't wait. So we might have to chat again once you watch Jeff 100%. Lacosse's police interview, because in it he mentioned that he thought it was weird that Wendy didn't drive from Miami to Tallahassee on her own. So right now, if I needed to drive 4, 5, 6 hours, my mom wouldn't come with me. Now, I did my first road trip with my kid, but it was from Virginia to Florida. and my mom came with me, but it was Virginia. That's like it was a really long road trip. And so, but it wasn't like my mom didn't come along with me when I went from Virginia to North Carolina, because that's a straight shot. It's not bad. It was fine, but
Yeah,
so
and I'm glad you utilized a personal experience of that,
yes,
because that's one thing where it's like, so I sit here and look at when I've traveled with the two puppies, and these
yes,
aren't two humans, they're just two dogs, but nonetheless, it's like, okay, and it's different now, they're a year old or whatever, but even the beginning, it's like, okay, well, everything's a production to stop the car and all this.
yes,
And like you said, Virginia to Florida, massive trip.
yeah.
Tallahassee to whatever. It's like, really? And I would wonder, and we'll never know this because Wendy would never divulge this, and who knows how she operated with Donna, but I see it playing out like this. Like Wendy's like, I'm going to be making the trip. I'm coming up there, Wendy. I'll be there Friday at 2:00. And you just didn't question it. I don't think it was like Wendy being like, Mom, could you come and ride with me and do this and blah, 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 blah. It's like, I feel like Donna interjected herself into all of their business, but like also petty stuff that didn't matter.
Like, but I think some of it is going to cause issues, because the fact that Donna has Dan's license plate number in her planner.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so once again,
Oh yeah.
domestic coordinator may be coordinating a little too much. And she wrote it down.
Yeah. Now, on that level, so let's talk about just basic evidence and things of this nature that we've heard.
Yes.
So, my sofa speculation opinion is, if she walks, I will be shocked beyond belief. Because for me, towards this end where we got into the phone calls and all this type of stuff, in the beginning of the trial, I felt like it was Wendy and Harvey and Charlie's trial. And I was like, I'm seeing some things, but I'm like, we're putting them on trial. Now we have hit hard with Donna's on the phone. Clear. Let's just talk about the bump phone call. I stand by, there is zero reason that the phone number should have ever started at Donna and made it down to Garcia and then back to Donna, who was like, y'all don't know what you're doing. I'll call him myself.
When Donna gets the message, she starts talking in code for the first time to Charlie. If I was on the jury, I would see she's not wanting to talk in person. She is using this because she says, if you go back to the transcript, she says the TV is about 5, and Charlie's this, he's the one that says $5,000, and it's like she was trying to talk in code, and Charlie didn't get it. And to me, that would show, if I was on the jury, I would be like, she knew exactly what the person was talking about, and she didn't want to go to the police, because Charlie's like, we should go to the police. If somebody's blackmailing you, let's go. And she's like, well, let's talk in person first. Like, she's super calm. Because Charlie's the one freaking out, and she's over here like, Charlie's like, just take a picture of it, send it to me. She's like, I don't want to do that. And so, like, all of that call, and then the letter that she tried to say, the jail informant note. Katie is not going to say $333,000. I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to Katie say a whole bunch of words. Katie isn't going to use fractions.
Yeah.
She's just not. She's not.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the jury's going to think about Donna promising somebody that is trying to work towards sobriety, offering them, the thing that they struggle with. And so, like, to me, Donna, the prosecution has done a beautiful job to me, because sometimes information would come out. So I wasn't sure why Rob mentioned that he was told not to talk about Jeff, or not to tell the parents about Jeff. I didn't understand that until we find out Jeff has already met Wendy's parents. So, like, why would Wendy tell Rob to not say anything about Jeff? And that the car, so like everything just starts falling into place as more and more witnesses come forward.
100%. And it's so fascinating on that level where it's like, I find myself going, oh, now let's talk about the jail informants for a minute.
Yes.
Because here's my thing with jail informants, and I'm like this. I hold two things true at one time, and I
Yes.
hope the jury is able to do this. I'm
Yes.
like, are we stupid? Do we think they want to get out early over this? 100%. I would. You know what I mean? Like, go
Yeah.
do what you got to do, girl.
But
Is
also
that
Donna is silly enough to like
100%? And it's like, on the other note, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I believe every word the women said. Like, I don't think they're lying about that stuff. I think it legitimately happened. I think Donna wrote that letter. I think Donna went to, and I can't remember each one's specific name. I know there was one that she talked about, like the prison daughter
so
versus
Patricia. Patricia was the African American woman, and then
okay.
Drina was Sunshine, which is
Such a,
that's the same thing. The same thing she calls, because I think she called Wendy her sunshine, and she called her grandchildren her little sunshines too. And so to me, Sunshine seems to be like, she seems to view daughters as like people I manipulate, because like, and I think that's how Donna shows that she cares. Like, it just seems. And I feel bad, and we might get to this, we might not, but I really feel bad for Rob. Rob's testimony just broke my little heart, that once Sigfredo and Luis were arrested and the family realized he was cooperating with the FBI, that he hasn't spoken to his mother since. I was just like, wow. That was, and yet you're like, I hope he has a good chosen family. I hope, and losing your birth family still hurts. It still really, really hurts. But to survive in their system, you might end up getting charged with a crime.
Mhm. And on that note, see, let's talk about Rob. There was a sadness that I got from him just watching him through his eyes, through his aura. I don't know what you would call it, but like just the general vibe of all the things you just listed. And it's like when we were talking in the stream, and I was like, this is what an innocent person sounds like. This is what somebody who doesn't have, when he was like, of course I talked to the FBI. You remember Donna was like, don't talk to him. And he's like, I'm not going to not talk to them. They knocked on my door. We're trying to figure out who killed Dan. His like thing of like, well, why wouldn't 100%? That's what a normal, regular, I had nothing to do with this person sounds like. And so then him talking, he was like, and also all these people, including Rob, who are like, they didn't have a natural curiosity as to who did it. Like this level of like, he's like, aren't we curious who killed him? I mean, they obviously knew who did it, right? So, but yeah, I felt like with Rob, and again, I believed everything he said. There's no reason for him to lie. And I felt like, oh, he just went through the death of all these people. And I'm guessing, because we already know there's that drama with his wife and Donna and the whole nine yards.
And I don't think that came up. I don't think in his testimony,
no.
The jury isn't
jury doesn't know about that. Yeah, jury doesn't know about that. It's far, they're not supposed to. But his like personal, almost like having to go through the death of family multiple times, and this obviously being the most, and Harvey, and again, to me, Harvey looks like he is shooting daggers through people sitting there.
Oh.
And it's like when Rob was up there, I was like, oh, I'm getting this really bad energy off Harvey. Like, he's just like, how dare you, betray your family or whatever. Do you think, it's a complete side question, do you think that Donna and Harvey and Charlie truly believe that they are innocent? That they didn't do, because they act just like, why are we even on trial? Or do you think they view it like, y'all don't have the proper evidence, we got one over on you, you can't convict us?
I think it's more the latter, like how I think they're pulling the Lori Vallow, like, you don't have me on tape. Nobody can say I said to do the thing. So like, they want this direct conspiracy. Like, you don't have me on tape saying I told you to do that. So Donna's the evidence that links Donna, it's strong, but it is circumstantial. But it's because, to me, her behavior got more suspicious after the bump. Her behavior, and then also like all the money they gave Katie, all that stuff, which I if she takes the stand, ooh, the way I'm gonna be sitting here with some popcorn. Like if she because it's gonna be a show, first of all. I think she's going to try to muster up some sadness or grief about the loss. And I don't think it's going to be genuine. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is, because her defense based on opening seems to be like, we also care about what happened to Dan, but it had nothing to do with Donna. And it's just like, but what about all these other things? What about her trying to go to Vietnam? And like, there's just, I have some questions. And there have been people in the courtroom that are watching the jury, and they said that the jury was really paying attention with those text messages at the end of Friday. Those text messages between Donna and Wendy and all of that people were really, that it's my understanding most of the jury was really paying attention to that. I don't know that she'll be, but I would be concerned about one juror thinking, how could a grandmother do this?
Well, you just never know in this day and age. And there's so many jurors now that are like, I need videotape of the actual thing happening, and we had to be there just like the TV shows, or I can't, whatever, convict or whatever. And so it's just, you just never know. I mean, for me watching it, first of all, and this is like the petty part of me, when they were showing the bump and how absolutely insane it drove all four of these people, well, all the way down to Garcia didn't seem as bothered, but like definitely Katie, what's her name, Donna, and Charlie, I loved every second of it. I was like, they deserve this misery. They have brought this on themselves. And it's like, we're getting to see the exact police working where they're like, hey, we're going to stir this up. Let's see what happens. And it literally drove them crazy, trying to figure out every little move. And I'm like, I love this. And Charlie, let's talk about Charlie and his delusion for a second. First of all, it's funny to me how the whole courtroom is just like, even what's her name, Donna's attorneys are like, so Charlie likes to talk a lot. Donna zones out. You can hear. I mean, everyone's like, please don't make us listen to Charlie. We can't take Charlie. And his whole thing of, I'm telling you, it's like 90%. We're at 90% right now.
1,000%. I think he told Katie 90%, and then I think he told his mom, because I think he knew. So I honestly, I feel bad, not completely, because they did the crime. I think Charlie tried to get somebody that he never thought it could come back to him, because he never talked to Sigfredo, because he never had any of those direct communications. I think he thought he could just talk his way out of it. That Katie is this, because Charlie tried the whole Latin Kings thing. And but I think he was trying to pull on people's biases, because I thought in one of them he said, who's gonna think a white periodontist would do this? Like, I think he was really hoping his privilege of being, this medical, like he's a professional. Like, I think they were really thinking, he was thinking, who would ever think I would do this? And I don't think Donna thought it would ever come back to her. Because once again, did it come up that Charlie's attorney talked to, it did. Was that was in the trial, right? Or was that, I've watched too much stuff.
Wait, his attorney talked to who?
I thought he talked to Luis's attorney, or like to one of, I don't know if it was Garcia's attorney or Rivera's attorney.
I don't remember.
Before Charlie was arrested, but that might have been the 2020 documentary. It might have been from something else. Yeah.
Well, there's so many things to like layer and cross over, and yeah, and I agree with what you're saying, that, and I mean, obviously, Charlie said it. He 100% thought he was going to pull I'm the white doctor, I'm a professional, no one's going to guess, blah, 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 blah. And then they each thought they were on their way. Like, had they been swifter, because it was like, yeah, y'all were setting this up nicely. Nobody knew each other. Nobody was talking to the next person. No one was doing this, but it was still so the fact that Charlie got Katie to get her baby daddy, and of course it was almost like they each made a poor decision. And
Yes.
then their whatever happened in their brains when pressure was put on made them scurry.
And if Charlie had picked somebody, and thankfully we love it when criminals do a bad job. Like it makes it like
100%.
I absolutely love it. I don't want people to get good at crimes. But the fact that Charlie picked somebody that he was in a relationship with and that he continued to be friendly with after the fact and is going to try to say she was extorting me. Like it doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have talked about that Donna is very concerned with her appearance, with how things look. And I think because a lot of people in that area immediately following, a lot of people were kind of because they knew how much the Adelsons hated Dan. So I think there was before they were ever arrested, I think in that area there was a lot of speculation going their way, but just nobody, they just couldn't prove it. And so oh, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's absolutely. And pardon me.
Yeah.
One thing. So let's talk for a second about the
Mhm.
phone call that Donna was on with Charlie, where she thought the phone hung up, and then then have you ever seen a phone stay connected for that long? And like, so in the phone call where she's going on, she's like, we've had a nice life, Charlie. We're basically at the end of it, and like going into the whole thing
Wait a
of
minute, were you talking about Harvey? She's telling Harvey they've had a nice life, or she told
so
Charlie? Yeah,
so
at
the
first.
prison phone call where Charlie
Okay.
gets hung up, and so in the background when she's crying,
Okay.
at some point she's making it almost out like, we're old, we've lived our life, we're comfortable, I want to not wake up again, let's say, all that little
But it
pity
seemed
patch
like
feeling.
Harvey had to do it too. And that's where once again Donna is over here coordinating way too much.
Mhm.
Why does Harvey have to go too?
Yeah.
And it's just like it was sad um to see, and yet looking at it, it just I wonder how it because the jury is the one looking at all of this without all the other information that we know. If I was on the jury, that would have because it's almost like she knows we might be next, so let's get ahead of this. Like that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, because I mean, to me, it was definitely like we're planning, like, here we go, day late, dollar short type thing. Of if we had only planned it a little bit earlier, we could have been on our way or whatever. Now let's talk about Harvey for a second,
Yes.
because here, and let's just talk about sofa speculation as to
Yes.
guilt, working knowledge of things, etc., etc. I went back and forth, and I still kind of do with Charlie, or I'm
Yes.
sorry, Harvey. 100% think he knew what was going on. It's to what degree he was involved when we talk. If we hold everyone up in the scenario in comparison, so Harvey, Charlie, Donna, Wendy, and then obviously I consider the hitmen and Katie
Yeah.
are a different category, but the family. And so with Harvey, I go back and forth. But then when you start seeing the evidence where it's like, oh, he's in the background on a lot of this, but he's not on the phone. It's Donna doing it. I think Donna being the domestic coordinator helped him out on some levels of the same incriminating evidence that Donna has.
And I'm not a lawyer, but I do know if you go to Walmart and your friend shoplifts and y'all both walk out at the same time, Walmart is going to press charges on both of you.
Yeah.
And so for
That's true.
me, I don't know if the state will ever try because he could really try to play the I didn't know. And so that's where I wonder what evidence the state has because they really haven't showed their hand when it comes to Harvey. I feel like each trial they show their hand a little bit more because during Charlie's trial, I felt like they were pointing the finger a little bit at Donna. During this trial, it seems like there were some fingers like there's some information coming out that we didn't know about Wendy. And so that's where I don't know. But if he was in the room and he overheard a plot to do this, when I'm not a legal expert, but I think if you hear people planning to do something and you don't do anything, or you allow them to use your money, because Donna's over here signing the checks with the Adelson Institute.
What
At
also
minimum, it might be some type of like tax fraud, because you're not allowed to pay hitmen with like, because they probably wrote it off as a business expense.
they got the full benefit of all that. They were still, that's their sloppy thing. But let's talk about this real quick. Donna's so cheap. Yeah. Donna's so cheap. It's almost like that's part of what got them called. Because like even with the prison ladies who came up talking about she bribed us, and I'm like, Donna, offering her some veneers, a single wide, and some property.
But I want to know where Drina is putting a grand piano. Like I don't. I have a very beautiful home. Okay, I do not have space in my very beautiful home that has, so like I live in a rather, I could move some, I'd have to move some stuff around. I don't have space for a grand piano. But I think that's Donna once again. Like it's like
that's how you know it's true. That's how you know it's true right there. Right.
But that sounds like something a 60-something-year-old woman would be like, every kid needs a piano. Like, doesn't
it's gold plated?
You're
gonna love it, sunshine. Yeah. Right. It's like, honey, grand piano's the last thing she's worried about, honey. But sure, I'd be like, I'll take it, Donna. I'll go down to the pawn shop with it. They see me pushing that down the road. But yeah, like that. So that whole dynamic there, but like her being so cheap on everything, like I think is partly like what, because even the $5,000, she's just like, I don't want to pay. Honey, I would have been like, how much do you want? When that Sammy called me out, the pretend hitman, I would have been like, how much do you want? Here's 10. And save the money.
I wish Donna knew that money is just so dirty. The chances of them trying to get fingerprints, because really what probably got her worse, because I think in this trial, but I don't think they really harped on it that much, but the wet money, I feel like we glossed over it. I don't think it was really like harped on at all, but they're alleging that Donna washed the money. And Donna's probably going to deny it, but Charlie's not going to wash money. Like Charlie's not going to do that.
And also on the money. So the money part too. And this is the thing. Notice that when they're talking about, can dad come see me, or like that money drop where Charlie told Katie, oh, mom and dad were just here, basically. Harvey's always present for exchanges of money. Like when there's something going on, Harvey's always there. So that's where I'm like, oh, he knew absolutely what was going on. Like, that's why I think it's weird that him and Wendy, no, we talked a little bit about this, about why Wendy might not have been charged yet, but why they were never charged. Because I'm just like seeing this evidence. I'm like, but Harvey was there like during these times, but I don't know. Again, I'm not a lawyer. So I'm like, maybe they're like, well, no, we can't prove he was there. And none of these people are going to say on the stand that he was there. So it's he said, she said. I don't know. But then you have that video, but you can't hear anything where he's at the restaurant with Charlie. And it's like, why would you meet up with Charlie at this time in this context? I don't know. All I know is if I was Harvey and I was in that courtroom and I had any sense of shame, which I don't think he does. I mean, I'm like, how are the people looking at him? Like, it's almost like this guy is responsible for the murder and he's free. He's walking around here like us.
And I think he would hear from Donna if he wasn't there to support her. Because imagine if she turned around and Harvey wasn't there. So I think she demands like 100% loyalty with no like thought for her behavior or the position she's putting people in. I also, once again, I think with this family being incredibly enmeshed, because when Donna's arrested, Harvey's over here like, can I go with her? So I love my husband. He's an amazing person. If for some reason he's getting arrested, I just want to know, okay, where, it depends on what it is. Cause like, if it's like, okay, but like, cause I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna bail you out or not. Like,
I know, right?
Depends on what it is.
What are the charges first? Then we'll talk.
What are the charges? And we can talk about it. But I'm not gonna ask can I can I go with him? No.
Yeah.
Like, but once again, I think Donna depended on everybody else to make her feel okay. And if she wasn't okay, there was gonna be hell to pay. Like she was gonna go. So you mentioned Charlie is the one that got things done. I see him as the enforcer, that he was
Okay.
the
Yeah.
one by any means necessary. He's bragging about talking his sister out of buying that house, and he's bragging about all of these things. Like, I feel like he was the enforcer. And somebody in my comments mentioned it, bringing them back to like Alex Cox and the Lori Vallow Daybell thing,
Yeah.
that that some in these families where there are no boundaries, and that's where boundaries are incredibly important. If you can't tell somebody in your life no, like that, like if they freak out and they start, if they threaten, things, if you just say no. Because even Donna getting upset that Wendy didn't call her, Wendy's text was after the verdict was, "Hey mom, if you need to, you can call me." And Donna's over here like, you don't care about your brother. You didn't even call me. And it's like, did you read? Like, she said you could call. Like,
Yeah.
why does she, but Donna's over here trying to guilt and shame of like, you should know how this would affect me. How can I even pick up a phone right now? Like, you should know. It's just like, it's so much.
Oh yeah. I want to say this real quick. Tish in the comment section just said, "My husband?" Question mark. I'll bail him out to berate him myself if he's guilty. Like
You're better than me. You're better than me.
he's
If
gonna be
you're
like, "I want to stay in. I don't want to get bailed out. I'm good right here."
if you're guilty, you might have some consequences of your actions. While
Right.
you
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so also, so going back to your thing there, whatever. Yes, I think that's an excellent point of Charlie being the enforcer. Here's the thing that I think with Charlie, and Charlie strikes me as this, and I kind of sum it up to this, like the type dude that's just like, "Hey, when are the girls going to get to the party?" Like he's just a playboy. He's just doing his stuff. And it's almost like they think they're a mafia family or they operate like that. And Charlie's running out to do whatever it is this week that mom has and it's usually centered around Wendy. And in fact, on that note, what do you think? Like, let's talk about or circle back to, or whatever you want to say, how you want to say it. How do you think they view Wendy? Because to me, like when we hear these private conversations about her, they talk to her like they talk about her like she's incapable, like they're smarter than her. And then the way that not Rob, but Jeff was like, yeah, behind the scenes, she's kind of a hot mess express. Now, mind you, he met her at a certain time in life, but that's where I was almost like, what are your thoughts on the whole thing? What are your thoughts?
So with Wendy, because it's so hard to figure out where to start. Can you repeat the question? Because I was
Yeah, no, cool. So what is your opinion on the way that Donna, let's just say Donna and Charlie, because they were the most evidence that I heard of how they spoke of Wendy, talking about her, talking down to her, like, we have to make the decisions. And Charlie kind of be like he's their dad or something. And I'm just like, maybe older brother or whatever, but I just got this vibe where I was like, they all treat her like she's like invalid or something. And I'm just like, where is this coming from? And does she just go along with it? Like, what are your thoughts?
And I think it was Jeff or somebody called her a damsel in distress, that was kind of Wendy's vibe at the time. And I think it's interesting that they're over here talking bad about her when, to me, I think they use that to like have her question herself, have her question her decisions. I think her mom was the one that picked Dan on J-Date, and her mom is the one over here trying to be in every aspect of Wendy's life. And once again, Wendy, I don't think set boundaries with her mom. And that's where, because some people, they're like, I feel so bad for Wendy. And that's where, so I like to empower people and to me, there were points when Wendy, I don't think she had the tools. I don't, or like I said, because when she didn't want to do something, she seems to just not respond. So when Donna's losing it, she just didn't respond. And I think there were ways, based on some of the emails, it sounds like Wendy could be manipulative as well. And because she's telling some friends that she's just going to cooperate with what's been with the judge's order. She's going to make it work in Tallahassee. And then on the other end, she's telling people, I can't stand it here. I hate it here. And so she's kind of playing both sides. And that's where I can't wait to see what else the state has. If you go back, there is a podcast that Wendy recorded after Dan died. And she talks about feeling like he talked down to her. She wrote a book and he didn't read it. And she uses this language where it sounds like any perceived criticism she took as like verbal abuse. But in growing up in the family that she lived, I would question, like, was she able to look at criticism and feedback objectively, or did any little thing, so if he's like, hey, let's not have the kids eat bacon, that she's going to take that, you think I'm a horrible mother, and it's going to escalate to this space where it's like, wait, like, I thought we agreed, like, I thought we had this conversation. I'm not saying you're a bad mother, we're just disagreeing on the parenting stuff. And so that's where I wonder if some of how her parents treated her and how she grew up in her family, if that kind of impacted, of course, and of course it does, how she related in her future relationships.
Yeah, that's some excellent insight there. Eh, pardon me. And also on those things where when we are hearing about those disagreements with parenting styles or choices, things like this, it was so interesting how her entire side of the family was privy to, and opinions were just as weighted as hers for every little thing that took place. And that's the part where I'm like, oh, that had to have driven Dan crazy. I mean, it started off with their wedding, like almost day one of the mother playing games with the guest list and the food, the food selections and this and that and blah, 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 blah.
And I wasn't aware that Dan's family helped pay for the wedding. So I thought, because when I first did it, I was like, oh, I was thinking the bride's family, like, okay, but I think the bride's family hired the caterer and didn't make, and I think Donna did it on purpose, and it was a huge red flag. Dan should have ran. But I think Wendy used her beauty and like how she looks, and I think she could use that for her benefit. And I think people overlooked red flags. And so that's where when I'm working with clients and they're struggling with letting go of a relationship, and if the person is really attractive, I'm trying to be like, he or she, they're not that cute. like it's not worth this pain. Like, oh, hey, you can keep paying me for therapy, but I'd rather you make healthier, better decisions, and have things work out well for you.
100%. Hey, Kathy, how's it going? Um, and on that note too, I do agree. I think that how I don't know what the studies are when they say people believe and do, like, really good looking people get away with stuff more or whatever. And I think that Wendy, look at how she is on the stand where she's, number one, she probably gets a bunch of Botox before she goes. She's very like frozen, very much like operate. She seems very put together, but then from what we're hearing from everybody behind the scenes, it's like, oh no, she's a hot mess express. Like, she can't get to point A for B without 10 things, collapsing and going crazy, whatever.
And that's where I think on the stand, because she comes off looking almost incompetent, but because I wonder if the jury knows this is the 4th trial she's testified in. And a lot of the evidence, a lot of the things the state is bringing up, I don't think a lot of it was new. And she's over here like, I don't remember. Did I say that? And she's needing her memory constantly refreshed. And it just, but Georgia is on it. She's
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, because for every question, she probably had exactly where, what page.
Oh yeah, the tab 5, tab 5. Yeah, we love her and her tabs. Oh my god, we were getting so much life from
And then
that.
and Wendy she would flip to it. Oh yeah, it looks like, can I add some context to that? Can
Can
I
I read
read
the
the
whole
rest of it?
sentence? Oh yeah. So, but here's the thing too, and like, and this is like, okay, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due on this.
Yes.
Wendy's almost like this, like almost like she's the type. Let's say, although a warrant was out. She's like, no, you're gonna have to come find me. I'm not gonna turn myself. You can come find me. So in that, she's just like, well, let's just gamble. Maybe it doesn't say that. Maybe Georgia forgot to put a tab here. Maybe this. You're gonna have to point out everything you said. Except if it has to do with Donna, because
Donna
those things
or
like.
Charlie.
Yeah, she's like, yep, he
Yes.
said that. 100% remember that. Absolutely photographic memory on that.
But if I don't, would I said, because there's no way, in my personal thoughts, I don't know this for sure, that she didn't remember that whole sentence that she was an actor in somebody else's, like for her wedding and her honeymoon, that she felt like she was living somebody else's life.
Yeah.
I don't believe that she didn't remember, but she had to read it. Oh, could that be related to your mother? There were a lot of people trying.
She's
Okay.
very good at like making everything downplaying it, making it seem like inconsequential, like or however you got inconsequential. That
But
word.
I do think, because somebody asked, why would Wendy send the prayer hands while they were waiting for the verdict? And but I don't know if that was to show her mother that she was kind of support. I don't know. Like, no, only Wendy would know for sure. And then once Charlie is convicted and once her mom is arrested, I thought it was interesting that she's had no contact with
Mhm.
her. I thought,
Mhm.
but because the minute Donna gets on the phone, because I've phone calls from prison has Charlie's and her and Charlie, and those calls didn't even come in. Like there were a ton of back and forth on those phone calls.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Wendy is smart in this way when she was like, my lawyer said, because allegedly Wendy said, my lawyer said to not have contact, but then allegedly her lawyer told somebody, I never said that. Now, at the end of the day, if I was Wendy, I would treat my whole family like I was allergic to them because you see how much they dig themselves into trouble talking on the phone. So you know that if Wendy was even like, okay, so I'm jumping around here. There's one
No,
thing where
you're good.
Donna
You're
was
good.
like, Donna's like, Wendy, there's not going to be talk about the case. I need your business help. I need your business help, Wendy. And
No,
I'm
no,
like,
but I don't believe Donna, because I do think
no.
Donna was going to try to ask her about, like, I think Donna had some. The minute Wendy got on the phone, I
Oh,
don't believe
100%.
Donna doesn't have boundaries. So I don't believe that we want to take a vacation to a place that won't bring us back. Like,
Yeah.
mom, that's talk to my lawyer.
Anything at this, and it could be what potentially keeps Wendy out of getting charged, is how much she cut off communication the second stuff went down, of like, we ain't talking on the phone. Because Donna, even as we've seen, Donna could be like talking, pretend she's talking to Wendy on the phone and not talking about the case, and then she's like, hold on a second, Wendy, Harvey, your dad wants something, and then she starts talking to Harvey about incriminating stuff. It's
Because
just like,
I
yeah,
think I think I think Wendy deleted stuff from her phone. I
okay,
don't Donna didn't delete it. I don't think Donna knows. So like, if the police needed my mom's phone, like my mom doesn't know how to delete a bunch of like like, no, like everything is gonna be there. And
yeah.
but it's just, and that's where I think their overconfidence is what gave so much more evidence. And for Jackie, Donna's attorney, to ask the FBI agent, like, why didn't you arrest my client sooner? I loved his facial expressions. That FBI, he was like, 'You
100%.
really, you really want for me to?" And he was so professional, because he could, and so he'll say, "It wasn't my decision," but I think he could have said something that was a lot more harmful for her client, but he knew that the state would redirect and he would be able to clarify anything. But like I loved watching, especially towards the end. Day one, I don't know that he was, but by I don't know if it was day two or I don't know, but like after he'd been up there for a while, his when the defense would be taking forever, he would just be looking like,
oh yeah, that was so funny when they did that.
Looking at his watch.
Yeah. He was he had jokes. He had jokes. It was like he didn't care at a certain point. And also I felt like he was like making eye contact with the jury. He was like, I think all of them were just like, this is insane. Like the phone calls were so stressful to everybody because it was like we hung out with Charlie for like 3 days straight.
But it was Charlie and Katie. And I felt like they played all of those messages because Donna's over here trying to say Katie said a third and ha ha.
Yeah.
Katie didn't say ha ha. And Katie would have had a lot more words. Katie, there would have been some cursey word. Like Katie's not saying it the way that Donna's, because we have the handwriting expert that proved that it was Donna's handwriting. And to me, Donna can't even say that Drina, the informant, told her to write, because it was like Drina doesn't know those like everything in that note was to protect Donna and Charlie. All of it was
100%. And the fact that, and I think at this point the jury's seen enough of Donna to be like, it's completely on brand that she would do something so stupid as to write this letter, a script out, because they saw her coming a mile away when they put her in that unit. They were like, honey, I'm getting out of jail on this one right here.
And I think she was sharing snacks, and I said on my hey, because Donna, but then she had the nerve to say people were stealing her canteen, but she wouldn't say who. And the jury isn't going to know all of that. If Donna tries to bring it up, which I don't think she will, because it'll look bad with these informants saying she was giving us stuff. But oh my gosh, like it's just so much.
Now, what do you think about this dynamic? And have you, like, in your profession or whatever, seen scenarios like this? One thing I think about is, when this took place, this is a custody situation, basically, right? Over the kids. Yes. So Wendy got what she wants. She's got the kids. Sounds like she's changed the last name, did this and that.
Oh, you're talking about after he died.
Yeah, after he died or whatever. Yeah, so she got what she wanted by him, by what happened. Mm-hmm. And so she's run off to Texas. She's doing her thing. So in my world, I'm like, when the kids get a little bit older, and then clearly at age 18, where they're like, okay, we can, depend on what's going on, you would think that they would question at some point, what, because how kids talk, and like, I'm like, what is school like for them, and like, what is this like with the trials? And at some point the kids would question, well, did mom really, that kind of a thing. Have you ever even seen a situation like this where once it takes place, oh yeah, the kids usually, like, this process happens or that process happens, or it could just be up in the air?
I've seen kids take it very badly when they figure out that they've been lied to, especially by parents or close family. That is very, very difficult because it kind of rocks their security. Because before that, they might have thought, my parents would never lie about this or that. And even if nothing ever happens with Wendy, them having to cope with the fact that not only was their dad murdered, but that their uncle was convicted of hiring and supporting. And so like the role, and so if just with Charlie, that would be enough to create years and years of therapy. An uncle that they know. And so like they will have memories, because they were probably like, not by the time Charlie was arrested, they might have been 9 or 10, or like they were older by the time Charlie was, and this was uncle they probably played with and probably have some fond memories of. And then grandma being in jail. And then if grandma is convicted of this, it just makes things very, very complicated. And I hope that the children have very good therapists that can support the kids where they are. I could imagine sometimes parents fire therapists when the therapist isn't saying what they want them to say. And so if they were my client, um, I would, and if the kids were, and if it was from the kids, so if the kids were saying, I'm starting to question some of the narrative that my parent is saying. So in Virginia, at the age of 12, kids get some additional privacy, but the parents can always have access to the child's record, or because as a therapist, you have to be very, very careful navigating those things. But I just hope that they have a safe place to explore that. I don't know that they will. Um, it's sad to me that they're cut off from the Markells. That's my understanding. Um, that and the Markells, I think, have a YouTube channel, Justice for Dan, where they've posted like messages for them, and so that if they ever do see it, just so that they know how much he loved them, and just because I think the narrative that they're likely told about their dad is probably, I don't know how great it is. I don't know.
That's
I
the
don't know.
scary part to me is, there's no telling what they've been told about Dan. The narrative, like you said, that's been taught to them over the years. And yet at some point, hopefully they'll get to learn who he really was in the
Yeah.
whole situation. Um, to know that, oh, well, wait a second. Yeah, I feel so bad for them. Obviously losing their father, but then the
Yeah.
context and the textures of it goes along with that. There will be a lifetime. I
Mhm.
mean, there's just no getting around it. It's really, really tragic.
Because even with something, so I've worked with individuals that have lost parents in violent ways, and when a kid is like 7 or 8, but by the time they get 12, 13, once they're graduating from high school, like, kids understand things differently at different developmental times. And so what upsets them at 12 might be very different later, because they're also grieving the fact that they might not have that many memories of their dad, and there might just a lot of that can create some what we call ambiguous loss. So like, I have memories with my dad is still alive. But like if something happened to my dad, I have like, oh, he walked me down the aisle. I have all of these memories. Those kids will never have memories of their dad at their wedding, at their graduation. And so there is a grieving process that happens with that.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what takes place. Now, my overall take, like I said in the beginning, again, anything can happen, but sofa speculation. I think she's
Hmm.
going to be found guilty.
Donna, yeah.
I think they're going to find her guilty. I think that and again, we still have, well, the defense is going to come up. So where we're off of the trial, or picking up with the trial on Tuesday morning, is we're going to reconvene. They're going to do that thing where the state or the defense will say, hey, can we throw the trial out? And the judge says no, and we keep going or whatever. And then the defense is going to present their case. Now, does this mean that Charlie's going to take the stand? That was a big question. Like, he hasn't been up there yet. What's up? We'll see who the defense brings up. I do not think the defense is going to have some huge, lengthy, let's go into a week and a half long testimony from people. And I think whoever they get up there, now Charlie could be a major person that could spend some time up there, but I
Just
think
because
this,
just because Charlie
I
can talk.
mean, just it's like wind him up and let him go. I mean, I decided today, I was like, we need to have Charlie. Well, first of all, what's the guy's name? Nick, who the car
Oh, Casotis. Nicholas
Charlie and
Casotis.
Nick need to be roommates. They 100% deserve each other. We need Charlie, Nick, Brian Koberger, Chad Daybell. Even though if it's a unisex unit, go on, throw Lori and Sarah Boone on there. Let them talk each other to death. Just let them do it. They can absolutely try and outdo one another all day long. You want to get 24 hours a day, there'd be noise coming from that unit. They're all just talking. I mean, they won't shut up. And so Charlie will absolutely get up there and just go on and on and on. But I think the state, just like they do now, the defense tries to counter stuff. when they do cross, and then the state gets up there and very quickly is like, boom, 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 okay, done. They just bring it all down.
So I wonder, because Charlie still has appeals. And Jackie has been acting more like a prosecutor of Wendy and Charlie. Because if Charlie gets up, I think is Jackie going to try to ask Charlie about because Charlie's trying to appeal. I don't know where he's at in his appeals, because I can imagine Charlie's statement is still, I was extorted, I had nothing to do with it. I can imagine he's sticking with his same story that doesn't match the evidence. Okay. But he doesn't come across credible to me. Charlie comes across incredibly annoying and immature, and because he comes off like a mean middle school boy.
100%. That's such a great way of explaining him.
Because I remember him giggling as they were talking about Donna's text, like all the names. Like, did she call him fuckface? Like, did she? And Charlie's, but I can imagine it was you don't expect them to fully dang, my mom did, but you're on trial for a serious, and he's just over here giggling. And to me, when he did testify, I don't think it went well, but Donna can make choices going ahead, and she might want one of her children to support her. I could imagine, especially with Rob and Wendy going up, because she's probably not happy with how it went with Wendy. I could imagine that she would want one of her children to be supportive of her. Are they going to call Harvey?
Can you imagine?
Nah, he's been in the courtron though, so I don't think he can't be on the witness list if he's in the courtroom. I don't believe. So Wendy tries to act like she's never seen any of the trials and she knows nothing about anything. I don't.
She has spent the last 10 years glued to the YouTube comment section. I can tell you that right now. She is glued to it. Okay. You get the jaws of life to pry that phone out of her hand when a new video drops about her. I mean, and that's why she pretends, because and somebody in the comments said it earlier. So claim your fame, where they were like, she's too curated. That is the perfect description of her, because when she does these things oh, I don't know, did I say that? I'm like, honey, you know exactly what page you said that on. You've already memorized it. You have been combing this stuff over to get these reactions of, whatever. So yeah, I think that, I think she completely she knows what she's doing. 100%. But yeah, so we'll see who the defense brings up there. I think they'll quickly be shot down, because like you said, the defense acted more like they were, and I get it, because it's like, they're not on trial. Let's throw them all under the bus. It distracts from our client, and they are technically guilty and whatnot. But
Donna allowed it. Donna, I wasn't sure if Donna was going to let them throw Charlie and Wendy under the bus, but she did.
100%. And I was surprised. Pardon me. I was surprised by that too, because like you said, Donna allowed it. The stuff that's going on up there, Donna had to give the final say, because they probably went to her and said, look, your only defense is to point the finger at everybody else. That's all we've got for you. And she had to say, even if she was like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. They ultimately were going to go along with it, because also when you listen to the things that the defense says, and I know I'm sounding biased when I say this, because I can give accolades and points to where I feel like they're, deserved. But the defense seems very just kind of not polished, I guess is a good way to say it. Just very unpolished. And they don't have much to work with. Because if I was a lawyer, and this is coming from a non-lawyer point of view, and I was like, Paul, here's all the evidence we have against your client. We want you to just start listening to these phone calls. I would be like, look,
this is bad.
This is really, really bad. I think we should probably try and get a plea deal, maybe. But
I think any plea would require her to flip on Wendy, and I don't think she would, and probably admit her guilt. Which
she's Sarah. Yeah, she's not going to. She's a Sarah Boone in that situation. And then also, on that level. So imagine this. Imagine if they went to Donna and they're like, Donna, pretend they didn't even say you have to flip.
Okay.
We're going to offer you 15 years so that nobody has to go through trial. Well, that's a death sentence for her.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, save my name, do this, have a chance. I can see more in her way of the, well, what have I got to lose?
Yeah.
Because any sentence is a death sentence.
Yeah.
And so it's like, here, and that's why I think her comment when she was on the phone with the false recording or whatever of, we've lived a nice life, we've done this, we've done that. It's like she's right. It's like we've already lived our lives. It's unfortunate that the ending of it is going to be behind bars, but they've already done all their stuff, so she kind of wins in a way.
And somebody asked a great question, that if Wendy was arrested, would the kids go to Harvey? And Dan Markel's parents, one of the reasons why Wendy cut them off in the past is when Charlie was arrested, Dan's family reached out to the prosecutor to say, hey, if y'all, for whatever reason, if y'all ever arrest Wendy, please do not have them go to, like, and if y'all are considering foster care, like, they gave a specific name of an agency that's like a Jewish agency. They were like, please, until we get there. So they weren't saying put the kids in foster care. They were saying, if for some reason there isn't a person that y'all feel comfortable placing the kids with, like, until we get there. So I do believe that Dan's parents would fight for custody. I've seen that happen in court cases where it's normally when a parent is deceased that the grandparent fights for parental rights, especially if they question the ability of the other parent. I've seen cases where that's been successful. I've seen cases where that wasn't, or that grandparent was fighting for their own rights. And so I don't think they would just sit back and just watch. I think Dan's parents would step up. I also wonder if the state, because I saw people in the comments talking about how they wish the kids were connected with Rob, because I think if Rob could have a healthy, safe connection with people in his family, I think he would be open to it. It just has to be safe and healthy.
Yeah. Which is asking a lot for his family. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what takes place next week. We'll see what comes down the pipeline with the defense. Definitely have to meet back up again to have another discussion. Is kind of like, obviously, we'll see how long it goes. I think by Friday, and I forget what the judge said, but I think he said we're going to be expected to go all next week. I don't remember
because the defense won't say. The judge asked them how many days, and they were like, "Let us think about it." And the judge, Judge Everett, is amazing, but he was just like, I'm trying to figure out if we got enough snacks. Like Judge Everett has just been, he's been so awesome. He's just like, y'all should know this. Like, why don't y'all know? You can't give me a ballpark of 3 to 4 days. We definitely know it'll be all next week. I know we have the, like, and so, but I think Donna wants to, because I think Donna probably said after the state rests, I want to talk. And because I think Donna's going to want to say, and
100%, that makes sense. She's probably sitting there this holiday weekend. I mean, just mapping everything out, telling them what they're going to do, what they're going to say, who they're going to call, the whole 9 yards. Because again, and also, what do you think? It was real quick. What do you think about this? So, the way that Judge Everett has to, number one, tell Donna to put her earphones on constantly and to stop like acting dramatic and crying and stuff. Remember the whole thing in the beginning where when the defense got up there and talked about Dan, and then when they showed the autopsy photos, Donna was over there crying and being all dramatic, and she did it for like the whole like 30 minutes, and I'm just like, girl, no.
And there, you didn't see a tear. Dr. G explains he actually does body language analysis. I'm not a body language expert. I can tell emotion. And it seemed performative. It didn't seem to have the authentic emotions. Because anytime Donna gets upset, to me, it's like a surface. Like she says she's upset. She's doing the actions, but like, you just like, seems like there's just something missing. And because I think sometimes she makes it bigger for impact so that people see her, hear her, but you you don't actually feel the corresponding emotion. Because I think she just gets so mad that she's just like, I'm
Well,
gonna show y'all how mad I am. And it's almost like a tantrum, but it's
it
it's it's very odd. It's very odd.
100%. And the way too, I think that she's learned over her lifetime
Mhm.
to like some of the things she says in the letters or whatever about like the kids, like, and here Wendy is, not calling me, not doing this. It's she knows that guilt trippy thing, and she knows that surface level stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of her manipulation because if whatever it is that's upset her or whatever, she's like, okay, I'm gonna start in with the first layer of manipulation. Who knows what she's really like if she truly is like, this hurt my feelings, this made me mad, versus, oh, this is this, I can manipulate it and spin it, I can domestic coordinate this to get this out of it. Very complex little creature she is.
But if Donna does testify, I do think that she's going to attempt to show some emotions, and so we will see. And then I think she's going to try to explain things. Her lawyers are going to have to ask her questions, and so it'll just be interesting to see what they try to talk about. But if she gets on the stand, because they admitted, her defense conceded that she wrote the letter
Mhm.
that the informant provided. And I just because I'll just be there for Georgia to cross examine her. Like I'll be living. I'll just be waiting for the cross examination. And then somebody else mentioned that if for some reason Wendy was arrested, what would happen? So people have parental rights. So even Sarah Boone still has parental rights. In court, they're working out a plan. Like even though she's a convicted capital M, she still, like, her parental rights were not terminated. Brian's attorney reminded her in his closing brief that, like, hey, we can we can terminate those rights, or we can ask the court to consider it, but he hasn't even asked the court to consider it. And so sometimes the state will step in and it just depends, and that's a court process, and people normally fight and argue during that process to avoid the kids going into foster care. Often the parent will agree for the children to go with somebody, but it has to be somebody that the state also deems as appropriate and safe. And they made Harvey seem like he's like incapable, and like he's so I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
But I will definitely be watching this upcoming week. Thank you so much for streaming during the day. So I catch up on your stream. I
Oh,
catch
cool.
up. I check out some of the legal analysis on other channels, and so like I so appreciate this space because you say the thing that like it's like, did they just
Yeah.
say that?
Yeah, I appreciate you hanging out in the stream too, especially when we have our questions and whatnot. And yeah, so we'll start off streaming again Tuesday, and we'll be going strong this whole week, clearly for the verdict watch and the verdict coming down the pipeline. Absolutely can't wait for that. And then, like I said, yeah, definitely, Dr. Berry, we'll have to get back together and talk about this. And even if we don't get to do a separate thing, like pretend she gets convicted this week,
Yeah.
we have to, once I watch Jeff Lacasa's interview, definitely do something with that because, and the Nick, go ahead.
Because once you see it, you will need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because Jeff is a lot. Okay. So it's in like a different, so Charlie's a lot in like an immature kind of way. Jeff is like junior detective. Like Wendy messed with the wrong one. She tried to frame somebody that like has some emotional intelligence and was putting stuff together, talking to his therapist about her, according to him. Like there's just that what you'll want to talk about it once you see it.
Well, awesome. I look forward to it. Well, again, thank you for taking time out of your weekend, your day to come talk to the Sofa Squad, hang out, answer questions. Girl, this is so much fun. I always love hanging out with you and going over all the crazy stuff.
And last time I dressed up too nice. So last time the chat was like distracted with like, oh my gosh, Dr. Barry, you look so amazing. And so like, it was like, okay, I've been on the squad enough. I don't have to, because I dressed up because somebody was like, I noticed you dress up when you're a guest on other channels. And then it was like,
well, you look amazing now too. I think you're the type of person that always looks like you could have been like, oh, I just rolled out of bed to do this collab, and I'd be like, you look incredible. But no, I'm used to, and it's funny today. I was like, let me put a polo on because I mean, Dr. Barry's credentialed. I need to make sure, whatever.
And I'm in a hoodie.
Well, and next time we probably by then, because last time you and I collabed right beforehand, I got freezing cold and grabbed my hoodie. And so now we're going into fall weather. And as a matter of fact, I was like, I'm celebrating fall and my collab with you with my first pumpkin spice latte of the season. So yeah, so absolutely. But yes, thank you so much. I love having you on and hanging out with you. It's so much fun. And we'll see what happens next week. So everybody be sure to check out Dr. Barry's channel. Links down below. The mods have been dropping it. Thank you, mods, for being here. Thank you, squads, for being here. Thank you, psych nerds, for being here. And we'll close out with a Slow Morrison's Ode to the Sofa song. And then we'll see y'all next week. So y'all take care. Bye, everybody.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough. Join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please. The puppies need me. Ooh, oh please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Puppies need me, oh please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.